everybody sort of. Well, I'll go to KJ first as a United fan. You've been very tight-lipped on this, bruv. What was your take on last night's outpouring?
Yeah, like obviously I gave it time. Everyone have their say. I have my opinions. I've tweeted a few things about it, but not gone into detail. I think people are being deliberately obtuse and ignorant with certain things when it comes to this interview. They're making it out like you can't agree with his calling out of the Glazers without backing what he said about Ten Hag. The two are mutually exclusive. The two are separate. What he said about the Glazers, we can all back. We can all understand, and we all already know. You know what I mean? We already know these things, but he said it. Cool. Where Man United fans are upset, because I've seen some people say, why is Ronaldo getting hate for calling out the Glazers? This is what United fans wanted, and now you hate him. Da 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 da. You guys don't really like the Glazers. You guys don't really hate the Glazers. But they're ignoring the elephant in the room, which is criticizing and openly saying you do not respect the manager of Manchester United. That is what people have an issue with. And if he never said that, if he had never said anything about Ten Hag, you could argue about Rooney and Neville. Does it really matter? Like if you didn't mention them either, everyone would probably be fully behind Ronaldo with his words, what he said about the club, what he said about the Glazers. Everyone would be behind it. But because he's done that, because he said about what he said about Neville and Rooney, and to an extent Ragnick as well, because he's done it with Piers Morgan, because he's unauthorized, people will be upset. And this is, for me, not the moment to be championing Ronaldo. Because you want us to fly the flag high because of the Glazers out and ignore what he said because it serves a purpose for you guys hate the Glazers, so you have to be Glazers out. But we can't do that as fans, because if we ignore what Ronaldo said about Ten Hag just because he said Glazers out, that means any player can come out and say what they like about anybody and everybody and be like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, Glazers out, forgive me, forget about it. We can't do it. We have to condemn what he said.
You know what they've done? It's a bit like someone coming out and talking politically and being an absolute son of a gun. And at the end of it going, by the way, guys, I am a supporter of Black Lives Matter. And everybody going, it's fine then. Say what you want. It's the same difference for me. And the people I've seen, I agree with you, that are like, how dare you condemn him? He's called out the Glazers. These are the same guys, when you read their tweets, that they say they're United fans, but they are hypercritical of Ten Hag already. You know, you've got that Mike guy who's like, well, he said he's already got a good squad, therefore I'm going to judge him on saying he's got a good squad. These people, like, they love to take things out of context. So when a manager says, I'm happy with my squad, but we all know they want more players, he takes that as like verbatim the truth. It's gospel. Ten Hag said he's happy, therefore we have to judge him like it's his own squad that he's built. We're not top of the league, therefore he's doing a bad job after 5 months. And rivals, of course, will jump on this as well. Like, I expect rivals to do what you're saying, KJ. It's the Man United fans. It's the Man United fans are like, I've had people say things like, I can't believe Terry's not sympathetic towards the situation with his daughter. I'm like, bro, I've said it in every video. I'm not even challenging that element because I'm going to respect it and leave it alone. Like, and equally, in all of it, I wanted to get your take on this, Patrick, with your hand up. For me, I was disappointed in the interviewer, Piers Morgan, because at no point did I see him delve deeper into accusations made. So it would be, you don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Gary Neville doesn't see what's going on behind the scenes. Where was the question from the world's most famous journalist of, well, what are these things behind the scenes you're talking about? Like, what was your take as a rival, Pat?
It felt very scripted. It felt like Piers Morgan was in awe of him. You needed a journalist that was actually going to ask the hard-hitting questions, ask the questions that we actually wanted to hear from Ronaldo. It was all scripted. You know, Piers Morgan was like, if you go out to eat with Lionel Messi, can I come along? Just like, he was just basically begging him. It was really cringy at times. And then obviously when he said the stuff about Ronaldo, and then it's like, Piers Morgan was so calculated with his he literally led Ronaldo down the garden path, and Ronaldo as well is quite naive, because a lot of the stuff Piers Morgan literally put the words in his mouth and then he just Ronaldo ran with it. And I'm thinking in my head, Ronaldo, you should be smarter than this. You've been in the public spotlight for like 18, 19, 20 years, and you're just coming out with all these wild things. And I was disappointed in Ronaldo. For me, Ronaldo is my GOAT, and I look at him a bit like sideways now. I'm just disappointed because he lacks class and he lacks character. Like even Rooney, even after Rooney's been slated by Ronaldo, Rooney still come out and just goes, you know what? I've seen it. I don't agree with some of the things he said. Like everyone that's still got that class about them has not really come and slated Ronaldo, and they've got every right to do that. And it just shows the level of character. And for me, Ronaldo's like, he's that petulant child. He likes yes men around him. If he doesn't get his own way, then he just throws his toys out the pram. Like saying, "Oh, I'm Ronaldo. I don't come on with 3 minutes to go against Tottenham," and all that type of shit. It's like, you're part of the team. If you're part of the team, play a team game. You're not going to be Mr. 95, 96 minutes. That's not your role anymore. And you just can see like his arrogance and his ego. Most teams won't take that. It's just, yeah, I was disappointed. I can't lie.
It was that part where he said, like, sorry, I'm not that kind of player. When he got, why didn't you come on? You're sitting there going, and the worst part is his fans, his diehard fans, whatever, they sit there and go, that's his mentality. That's his elite mentality. He doesn't come on when the game's done. He's saving himself. I'm sitting there going, no, he just comes across as a bitter old man who can't handle being told he's not good enough. He is no longer good enough. That is the be-all, end-all. You've got a 17-year-old kid in Garnacho coming in and offering more to a United team, and he can't accept that. He can't get round his head that the big ego of Cristiano Ronaldo is actually beatable. Father Time will take out Cristiano Ronaldo, and he can't accept where others have done, he can't. And all that's going to happen is if he keeps going, if he keeps being unable to accept this reality, he's going to tarnish the back end of his career, because people won't remember Ronaldo's back end of his career for the wonderful records he broke. It'll be, I don't know when he didn't come on, and when he done interviews, and when he kept throwing his toys out the pram because he wasn't getting his own way, because he was no longer good enough. That's all it is.
Yeah, and it's just, it's one of those ones where he is, like you mentioned Garnacho there. Garnacho loves Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got obviously his own son who's grown up to be a footballer, and how many different young players within the Man United team and across the footballing world look up to him as a role model. And you can say he never asked to be a role model, but you're supposed to be one of the greatest players of all time. Where in the fact that you're one of the greatest of all time does professionalism come into the conversation? Because you still have to, even though you're amazing on the field, for me to be considered the greatest of all time, professionalism still counts. What are you like when things aren't going your way, and how are you treating others and the people around you? And Ronaldo, everything about his daughter and his family, I understand. But once you go past that, it's all ego. And that's the part where I'm like, bro, like this is not what me as a United fan who grew up loving you want. I've got a Portugal Ronaldo shirt. Like, this is not the guy I want to see, and this is what he's turned into. And unfortunately, his fanboys are enabling this behavior.
He said this whole thing as well, like about football's become about money. It's no longer about the game as much. And then laughed and joked that he may have more pounds in the bank than he has Instagram followers, which is, I don't know how many Instagram followers. What's his Instagram following? You must know it, Gal. You're like on
I think he's got like 450 mil. I think he's on 450 mil around there.
So, but the point is, it's like, I'm not saying I'm an advocate. I think footballers get paid
497 million.
497. Footballers get paid for me. I know it is, but I think footballers for me get paid what they should get paid. I love the fact that in football, the actual workers, the people we're there to see, get paid a considerable amount of the money it generates. But this is my problem when I hear anyone in the game that's at the highest level moan that it's become too much of a business, is when you're taking all that money still. Like, if you think it's become too much of a business, stop taking money. No, you just launched the new deal with Binance, and how much is Binance paying you to be the new face of their cryptocurrency exchange? Like, a lot of money, and I don't have an issue with that. But it's like anything, moaning about capitalism whilst drinking Starbucks and tweeting about it on your iPhone. It makes no sense. Like all the people moaning about Elon Musk owning Twitter, fucking leave. You don't need to be here. You don't need to use it. Go. And that's the element for me. And the bit he said about his son, and I'm talking about his older son, when his son turned around to him and said, "Daddy, how could they drop you? You're the greatest player in the world." That's sweet from the point of view of my son thinks I'm the strongest, fastest, bravest man in the world. I'm the best because I'm his dad. That's how everybody thinks about their dad. And if you're a good dad, that's how it should be, right? But Ronaldo kind of regurgitated that as, Well, my son even gets it. Even my son knows I'm the best. How does a Ten Hag not? Because you're not the best. And do you know how we know you're not the best anymore, Ronaldo? Because in the summer, when your agent was trying to force a move away, no one wanted to buy you. No one was willing to pay you. The irony. I reckon that loads of clubs would have bought him in if he didn't want the astronomical amount of money that he's moaning about. Is only there because the football's become a business. Well, then don't ask for the money, and you could have gone anywhere. If you'd have got turned around to Napoli or any of those clubs that were kind of looking at him and said, look, I'll come for 50 grand a week, he'd be there now. But
Terrace.
he didn't. He wanted 800, 900 grand a week to be in the Champions League. And they all said, no, you're not worth that money at 37 years of age. He's done out here.
Man United have to. Like, at this point now, they have to. It's not a question of should they. They have to do it. Because, again, if Ronaldo says what he says about the manager, he's trying to rebuild the club, trying to make us play a way that we can win trophies. If he says that and then gets to come back in, gets his place in the squad again, people like the team would just look at that and be like, well, this manager got no power over us. We can revert back to what we've been doing under Jose, under Oli, under LVG. They can revert back to type and do. Right now, Ten Hag has got these guys gripped. And it's like, right, he is the guy. We all follow him wherever he goes. If Ronaldo gets to come back and take a claim in the team again, everyone in the team will just might as well be screw it, innit? Because we can just do what we please. Yeah. And as Man United, the club, not the Glazers, because people are like, oh, but because he said that about the Glazers, you should leave it. No. Man United, the club, the team, the squad, and the manager and the staff, they cannot allow this kind of insubordination. They can't. So they have to do it. I love Ronaldo, but you have to. It has to.
KJ, if you did a video tonight that was like slagging me off as your boss, your feet wouldn't even touch the ground, my G. Like, it would be, not only would I sack you, bruv, I'd be up, these fists would be flying.
Like, he's traveling up to Birmingham himself.
I'd be outside your door, ding, ding, ding. Do you know what I mean? Fact, I'll do even worse, bruv. After I beat you up, I'll take your missus out for a drink, bruv. Do you know what I mean? It'd be on.
She likes dark chocolate, my brother. Dark.
This is true. She's not into the Milky Bar kid. But like, from my point of view, I agree. We have to sack him. But equally, I think one thing all Man United fans have forgotten in this is Ronaldo has done all of this to get sacked.